What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel. Got another Week 3 preview prediction video coming up for you here today. We're going to be talking about another top 10 team in the nation, kind of continuing with this Big Ten theme we have going on as of late. The Penn State Nittany Lions are going on the road to take on the Illinois Fighting Illini, a team that's going to be looking for redemption after their performance in their last game against Kansas. Should be a good one here out of Champaign. But before we dive into this preview prediction, just want to thank you guys so much for the support the channel has seen as of late. To continue to help show your support and grow this channel, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you know when videos get uploaded, but there are more ways than that to help me support this channel. You guys are doing one of them right now by watching the video, and you guys can do more by liking, commenting, sharing, anything else you guys are willing and or able to do to help me support this channel would mean the world to me. So let's dive in now to talking about this game. We got the 7th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. We got the unranked Illinois Fighting Illini. Now, do not let the Illini record and just don't let this Illini performance from last week in general fool you. This is an Illinois team that has still a pretty good defense. It's got a lot of weapons offensively, and even though it did not have its best game last week on the road in Lawrence against the Kansas Jayhawks, you come back home and you get the chance to knock off a major opponent and a college football playoff favorite in the Penn State Nittany Lions. Let's go ahead and dive on into some stats for this game. We are going to start with the road team as per usual and start with the Penn State Nittany Lions. And guys, honestly, what is there not to have been impressed about so far from this Nittany Lion offense, right? I mean, you have every reason to be excited if you are a Penn State fan. Drew Aller has lived up to the hype. He's looked just absolutely fantastic. 43 of 55. That's a 78% completion percentage, by the way. 529 yards, 4 touchdowns, and the offensive line has only allowed him to be sacked once. Again, this is one of the best offensive lines in the entire country, led by a couple of guys that could go first round in the NFL draft. This is a Penn State team that you have every reason in the world to be excited about offensively, and it doesn't just stop with Drew Aller. I mean, you continue down the line, Katron Allen, Nick Singleton, that running back duo is one of the best the country has to offer. You add Trey Potts into that room there. You add Trey Potts into that room there as well. Keandre Lambert-Smith. You also got Harrison Wallace, Malik McLean, Dante Cephas, many other weapons in that wide receiver room there as well. So this is an offense that's clicking on all cylinders, and I'm not worried about one bit. And it's a defense that's also one of the best defenses in the entire country. Now, again, this is the Penn State team that's really going to get their first true test in this game against the Illinois Fighting Illini. If I haven't mentioned that yet, I just mentioned it now. But guys, again, offensively, we just talked about this team is dynamic. Defensively, boy, this team still looks really, really, really good, too. They've only allowed 11 points per game, only allowed 224 yards per game. They forced 2 turnovers. They've been able to generate pressure to the quarterback. This is the secondary that maybe hasn't really proved its ball hawking abilities quite yet. Only 3 pass defended on the year, but there are a lot of ballers in this secondary. Johnny Dixon is one of them, already has 2 pass defended. You also have your second leading tackler, Jalen Reed, that is there as well. Keaton Ellis, and there's just, I mean, so many names that I could list off of this Penn State defense. It's ridiculous. Curtis Jacobs is your leading tackler. This defense is star-studded. It is really, really good. And this is a Penn State team that surely is going to impress from here on out as well. And this is an Illinois team that probably has not played their best through their first couple of games, right? You're going to be looking to make some statements and make improvements in this game against the Penn State Nittany Lions. Again, you got the chance to knock off a major opponent, but it's going to take a lot in order to do it. So offensively, the Illini definitely have not looked bad, and they definitely have gotten a good upgrade at the quarterback position in Luke Altmaier. 408 yards, 3 touchdowns, but the problem comes with Luke Altmaier. He's thrown 3 picks, and even though you do have some nice weapons in the running back room as well with guys like Reggie Love, Josh McCray in there as well, Luke Altmaier is still this team's leading rusher. He has 139 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 6.3 yards per carry. I mean, hey, Luke Altmaier, a very good dual threat quarterback. I have no problem with him getting out and running the football, but this is a Illinois rushing attack that maybe is missing a little bit of what they had last year with Chase Brown and Company still got some really good weapons out there in the wide receiver room as well, but you got to be able to limit the turnovers against this Penn State team. You have to take every opportunity you get, and you have to prevent this Penn State pass rush from getting back to Luke Altmyer. Already 8 sacks allowed for the Illini offensively. That has to change if you want to win this game. And defensively too, I said it in my intro that this is a defense that has not played their best quite yet. They've also faced 2 offenses that are pretty darn good. Toledo's got one of the best offenses in the Mid-American Conference. And when you also go ahead and take a look at who they just played in the Kansas Jayhawks, Jalen Daniels is a very dynamic quarterback, has a lot of weapons around him. But when you take a look at this Illinois defense, it definitely is struggling compared to what it did from last season. Now, they have been able to force 3 turnovers, have been able to generate some pressure to opposing quarterbacks, but they're allowing over 200 yards through the air and on the ground, 31 points per game. Their third down defense probably at this point is probably one of the worst marks in the entire country. And I know it's only a 2-game sample size here, but in order to get past this Penn State team, this is the defense that I know the talent is here. There's a lot of good talent on this Illini defense, but it has to be able to flip a switch and be able to turn around like that. I don't know why I can't snap today, but you guys get my point. There's a defense that's got to turn it around and play their best game of the season by far if they want to get through this Penn State team, which leads me into my what to watch for, your keys to the game, anything like that. Just 3 things from each team to watch for when you are watching out for this one. So for the Penn State Nittany Lions, I think the job is really simple. You just got to continue to do what you have done all season long so far. You got to be able to stay balanced offensively, use the run game to open up the pass game for Drew Aller and company, while simultaneously being able to protect Drew Aller, as there are some teams on, or as I should say, there are some players on this Illini team that are going to be able to generate a pretty solid pass rush there as well. Newton, that defensive lineman, yeah, he's an NFL first-round talent, so you got to be able to slow him down there as well. This defense has to stay home, but it also must stay alert here as well. Altmyer is a guy that will sit in the pocket and throw, but he's also a guy that will get out of the pocket and run as well. And that's the Penn State defense that's very fast, very athletic, and very physical as well. That leads me into my third bullet point. We'll talk about that in a second. But you know that Brett Bielema and company are going to have some things up their sleeves for Penn State here in this game, right? So Penn State defense, stay alert, stay home, stay balanced, stick to your assignments. Should have no trouble pulling this game out. But what did I just say about the Nittany Lions being physical? Well, the Nittany Lions will punch you in the mouth, and they're not going to stop at that. They'll do it 50 more times. It's a very physical team that loves to enforce the run game and let you know that, hey, this defense, it's punishing, and we will punish you if you make a mistake defensively. Which now leads me into my keys about the Illinois Fighting Illini. What do the Illini have to do offensively? Well, Luke Altmyer is just going to have to make plays and probably, in all honesty, have the game of his life against this Penn State team. Luke Altmyer is going to need to make some plays on the ground, through the air, magic spells, really everything and anything, right? Luke Altmyer is going to need to be an absolute game changer. He's going to need a couple of his weapons to step up there as well around the running back and wide receiver room, but he also can't turn the football over, right? Those 3 interceptions that he's thrown, he's got to negate those entirely in this game if Illinois wants to have a good shot to go out and win. Be physical and generate negative plays. Again, it is a defensive front that can be physical. Again, you have first-round NFL talent on that defensive line, along with many other, in what my opinion, are NFL caliber players on that defensive front. Slow this run game down, create pressure on Aller, keep him inside of the pocket, and then let your secondary go to work. And again, that's kind of what I just said there as well. Stop the run, contain Drew Aller. You have a pretty substantial shot here to at least make this one competitive. But guys, Penn State's getting 14 points here. This is the Big Noon game on Fox, even though Big Noon kickoff isn't going there. It's really weird, confusing. I don't like it, but that's where you can find this game here. Penn State's going to blow the doors off of the Illinois Fighting Illini here in Champaign. Now, the Fighting Illini defense will make some plays to be able to slow down Penn State and force a couple punts out of this Nittany Lion team. But this offense is too dynamic. This is an Illinois defense that I think has too much to fix too quickly, and it's a Penn State defense as well that's legit, will get home to Luke Altmaier and will create havoc for this Fighting Illini team. So I got the Nittany Lions winning this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And hey, as always, remember to play hard but tailgate harder. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.